Now I can talk. Now it's better. We're back. Should be good. Perfect. All right. Thank you. Let's fire this thing up. Let me. Here we are. All right. Let's go live, boys. Fellas, I see you back there. Give me a couple minutes to start the show here, and then we will go. The Steelers versus Browns team preview edition of the Bottom Line Bombs on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with my promo code BOMBS. And now, with that,
bring me everyone.
What do you mean, everyone?
Everyone! I am not a fucking loser!
You're a crumb creep. I want to fight you. But you don't have the courage. You're a real crumb bum. Put that on camera. You're a creep.
Here we go. Pittsburgh's gone to the Super Bowl. Here we go.
Cheer the Steelers, black and the gold.
Here we go.
This town of Pittsburgh's heart and soul.
I'm Lou Holtz, and you're listening to the Man and the Box and the Bottom Line Bombast. Good luck to you.
welcome to the Bottom Line Bombs. I am your host, the Laddie Daddy, Scumbagger Vance, the Bet Detective. Enough of that song. CJ Sullivan, the man in the box. Coming to you live here from Eagle Rock, California, on a beautiful, beautiful, hot, steaming Wednesday. Recording live. You're listening to it whenever the hell you're listening to it. Hopefully you're listening live. If you are listening live, especially on X, hop on over to YouTube. That way you can join the chat. We already got tons of people in the chat. We got Channing here. Says, let's go. John's here, LFG. Feach Lamagna says, you know, I'm a C-Jenner. You all get bombs. We got a great show today. We're previewing the Steelers and the Browns, and I got two great guests. My insiders from last year, Kenny Barnards and Brian McGee. They were last year's insiders. I have them on together. I'm trying a new thing. Instead of doing one separately, one the other, I'm going to put them on together. Do the full, as Larry King would say, for the full hour. Let them do a versus. Let them attack, especially when you got a rivalry like this, just to shake things up a little bit. I got one coming up in a week or so with the Ravens and Lions. I did with Sean Cole and Mikey Burns. That went off the rails. Hopefully this one will be a little more in control, but who knows? Two of the funniest teams, Steelers and Browns, two of the funniest insiders I have. So it's going to be great. I'll get to that in a second. I'll bring them on there in the bullpen right now. But I do have to talk about yesterday's news of the Colts starting Daniel Jones at quarterback over Anthony Richardson. How exciting is that? Did they get rid of the Mr. Jones thing? They did. Indiana Jones now is his nickname, I heard. What's funny about that, and plus we gave that out at plus 180 just a week ago, that Daniel Jones would be the starter. The way the media is talking about how the Colts did Anthony Richardson wrong. They let him down. What? Like he let them down? What are you talking about? It's just funny that the slander that Daniel Jones gets. Like, oh God, if you're putting him, then you're just throwing football away. You just don't care about anything in development. Like, all right, I get Daniel Jones hasn't been great, fair enough, but he's maybe competent. Who knows? Anthony Richardson. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but maybe if you're not good at football, it's okay to get benched. You know. Maybe it's all right to get benched. How is the audio? I'm hearing the audio might be bad. Is that true? Let me know. So someone from the private chat is saying that though, but not the C Generous. How's the audio? C Generous chat room. Let me know if the audio is okay or choppy. Maybe the could be the signal. Who knows? I know last show we had some difficulties with. The Bills and Broncos. I chopped it up for the podcast, but the live version did get some technical. Sound good. I sound good. You know what? That just came from the bullpen to McGannon. Brown's guy already doing it fine on his end. Says all the chat room. So we're gonna tell Brian McGannon to go to hell. Maybe he was just mad about the Steelers song coming up. You know what? Fine. I'll stop talking about Daniel Jones. Is that it? Is that what you want to hear? Mac, I'll bring on both guests right now. Let me bring in Yinzer Ken, Brian McGann. Let's get right into it. Browns Steelers. I'll talk Anthony Richardson later on. We're going to bring in here. Let's see what we got here. There we are. Hold on. Let me lock mine in. There we are. Hello, boys. Kenny Barr, Yinzer Ken. Oh, cool. McGannon's doing a food review in his car. I'm glad you could. I'm glad you could take time out of your review of Five Guys to check in. Yeah, your audio is the one that sounds bad. Is that what you meant? I hear snap, crackle, pop.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's mine.
No, it's 100%.
Yeah, there's a lot of snap, crackle, pop going on.
That's 100% yours. You sound all right though. Kenny Barnard, Yinzer, how are we doing?
We're doing all right. Something tells me that the technical difficulties might be coming from McGannon's camper van. He's in there.
Yeah, it was 100% his fault. Everyone else sounds great. God forbid he works anything this out. Looks like, and he's already gone. And I like how he took away his picture, but his sound is still crackly, just so we can get the worst part coming through there. Yinzer, how are you doing? Before we get to the Steelers, what do you think of the Daniel Jones news?
I mean, huge news.
Huge, right?
You know, who is going to be stinking it up for the Colts this year?
Yeah. I mean, I love how they say, like, oh, he didn't get the reps. He needs the rep. Since when is that a prerequisite for who starts? He needs the reps. Sorry. He only has 1,500 reps. I know Mahomes, you're pretty good, but Gardner Minshew just doesn't have the reps you have. So we're going to see if we can get that even.
I think with Anthony Richardson, I think they meant that he needs the reps in college. So I say send him back down.
I know.
Do like the NHL and the MLB does. Send him back down. Go back to Florida State. Figure it out.
Oh, my God. Did you like a little here we go there in the beginning there? Let's get to your Steelers. Is he still on the line, this guy? Let me hang up on him real quick. I'm scared, man. I hear you. I'm going to have you
him
call.
Coming in, it definitely feels like the Shadur Sanders draft party.
Yeah, shit sure does. That's
just
for sure.
Turn off your video, Shadur.
I hung up on him. I'm going to have him recall, or I'll get him on the line or whatever. Matter of fact, anyway. So how are we feeling about our Yinzer Steelers this year? Hilarious that you have Aaron Rodgers. Let's get right into it.
It's a big year for the Steelers. And I'm happy to give my sort of prognostication and I guess question for you and the audience. Did you want that in English or did you want that in Mike Tomlin?
How would it be in Mike Tomlin? Now, Mike Tomlin in his 18th year, as you know, Ken, and you're one of the biggest fans that never had a losing season. I'm not sure if you're aware of that statistic. I know you think it's a flawed statistic. He has not won a playoff game since 2016. The last four were double-digit losses, blowout losses in the wild card round. But I will say this. I mean, to be over 500 with quarterbacks like your man Delvin Duck Hodges is pretty impressive.
I won't have any Duck Hodges slander in this chat. It was honestly one of the best years of my life. Quacking a duck call.
That photo I still use. Yeah, the photo I still use is you at the Charger game, dressed as a duck hunter. All right. So McGann now wants to be called because his audio is fucked, which is hilarious. I'm gonna go ahead and give him an old school sports call.
There you go, back in the radio days.
Yeah, back in the radio days. Let's see. Let me give him a call. This is it's worth it. Of course, he's just a disaster. Look at this. It sounds like a radio prank show.
I didn't know phones did that. You can actually call somebody with them.
Yeah, you can use it right there. McGann, you there, buddy?
I'm here. I'm here.
Now you sound a little better. Amazing that your setup didn't work right there in the car, but we have you on the phone there. You're with Ken.
Dude,
Barnard.
my signals are strong. My signals are extremely strong.
Mm-hmm.
That's not me, man.
Fair enough. All right, we're talking Pittsburgh Steelers first, then we'll get into your Browns. Ken Barnard was just talking about Mike. What's your thoughts on Mike Tomlin in the division? McGann, real quick. I know you're a big fan of Mike Tomlin.
I'm sorry, was that question for me?
Yeah, I threw it out there for you. I want to get you to jump in there.
What are my feelings on Mike Tomlin?
Yeah.
Well, I think he's a good coach.
Yeah, right.
I think he looks a lot like Omar Epps, the actor.
Sure.
That's kind of well known.
Mm-hmm.
He seems a bit cantankerous, right? At like press conferences and walking to and from the stadium.
Yeah.
Not a smiley, happy, fuzzy guy. I know a lot of players have said some negative things about him recently. I think James Harrison, if I'm not mistaken, has not done well over the past the Steelers haven't made the playoffs in 19 years or something like that.
That's not a statistic. Actually, they've made the playoffs every year. They have back-to-back 10 wins. They lose in the first round of the playoffs. They haven't won since 2016. But he's never had a losing record. Anyway, all right, fair enough. Mike Epps. Now, Kenny Barnard, you were just about to speak in Mike Tomlin language about the Pittsburgh Steelers in last year and what you're looking forward to this year. Just an overall macro feel, real quick, before we get into it.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the standard is the standard. The Steelers are not going to apologize. We're not going to apologize for winning. In Pittsburgh, we want volunteers, not hostages, right? And we're expecting those routine catches to be made routinely. I know your audience wants it. I can't give them all the ingredients of the hot dog because they might not like it. But I tell you this, CJ, if you're a blinker, you better cut your eyelids off because you're not going to want to blink this season. We're still squirreling away these nuts and things of that nature. And I guess finally, if you got red paint, you paint the barn red. And there's a fine line between drinking wine and stopping grapes.
Is this how his career's lasted 18 years? He just confuses the media with generic sayings like that. It's amazing.
He is the NFL's Donald Trump, where I think he gets paid in the sound bites. People love it. People love the way that the man talks. He's a good Christian. And he's the highest paid coach in the league. And those last couple playoff games that we lost to stalwarts like Blake Bortles, Tim Tebow. So, some real buzzsaws that the Steelers ran up against. But my prediction this year, you got to go with Coach Knowles. Never had a losing season. Steelers 9-8. Mike Tomlin still cashing that $18 million paycheck. God bless him.
$18 million worth every nickel.
He has Graves' disease, if I'm not mistaken.
Graves' disease. Expand on that a bit.
You know that disease where your eyeballs start to bulge out of your head?
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's what he has, that he has a Graves' disease.
Him and the Omo are up there. We already have Browns questions. We'll get to the Browns in a second there. Sean Flannery wants to know about the 4-quarterback room. We'll get to that in a second. But first, we're talking some Yinzer Steelers. You brought in Aaron Rodgers, the ayahuasca king. How is he going to blend in Pittsburgh?
Well, I think, the most difficult thing with Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh is it is incredibly difficult to get a weed card in Pennsylvania. I just did it for my grandma, and Aaron it's gonna take him a tough time to get that weed card. I think, between, him changing every single one of Arthur Smith's plays, I think we're gonna have a lot of nice delay of game penalties. And, I've never been more excited for a Jets Steelers week 1 matchup. I think it's a revenge game, but I don't know I feel like it's the teams getting revenge on NFL football fans, because it should be a god awful contest.
That's an amazing opener. Jets, Steelers, revenge. Is it revenge for the Jets? Is it revenge for Rodgers? Is it revenge for the fans? Revenge for ownership? Who knows? Anyway, you also brought in DK Metcalf. You decided to have no other receivers other than that. That's an interesting formation. They're going to have one wide out. And of course, they have Roman Wilson and Calvin Austin. And
they've been playing with the four tight end, no running back set, which, I think
that's what Arthur Smith loves.
Yeah, it's cute. It's just like giving a kid, a bunch of markers, and just whatever he comes up with, you just kind of pat him on the head and say, great job.
Yeah, 100% there. Wow, backstage. They drafted Caleb Johnson, rookie running back out of Iowa. Why do they hate Jaylen Warren so much? I want Jaylen Warren to happen. I find like Najee Harris is out finally, and then they replace him with Caleb Johnson.
Yeah, I think honestly, the Rooneys are so cheap. They just they're trying to cut down the budget of the media department, so they didn't have to get a photo of him taken. They just take the Iowa headshot he's already got. Mm-hmm. Don't even have to Photoshop a Steelers jersey on it. So I think that's mainly the reason.
I love it. So their defense, not too bad last year. I think they were 9th in EPA per play allowed. They got enough talent out there. Of course, you need TJ Watt, who's plus 950 defensive player. They brought Darius Slay in from Philly. He's he's young. Him and Jalen Ramsey very young. But they did draft Derek Harmon, a D tackle out of Oregon, with the 21st pick, so he should help there. They also got another Ohio State guy, Jack Sawyer, in the 4th round. Every Ohio State guy they draft turns out well. I don't know how they do it. There's something with that Big 33 game. They got the inside recruiting in the Ohio and Pennsylvania, whatever that game is. They always love good white Buckeyes.
Oh, yeah. Well, the Steelers are always, they're always one player away. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like that player has been born on this earth yet. But, we keep on bringing in your Jalen Ramseys and these guys on the defensive side of the ball, and then retread 40-year-old washed-up quarterbacks, and it's the same song, different tune.
Absolutely. McGann, you still with us there?
Oh, I'm here.
There we go. As a couple of the commenters have said, maybe when you're not talking, make sure you mute the phone just so the sound is crisp. But when you are talking, go ahead and jump in there. What do you think of that Buckeye Jack Sawyer that the Steelers drafted?
I think he looks like a Steeler.
Mm-hmm.
I think it just makes sense that he went to the Steelers. Be interested to see him, in the uniform.
Sure.
That's basically it. He's got good arms that look good in his Steeler outfit.
Right.
Yeah. No, he was good. He was a glory boy with the Buckeyes. So, I think it just makes sense that he goes to, to the Steelers, and I'm sure he'll find a way to bite the Browns in the ass in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is. The arms are important. It is important for somebody that can play in short sleeves during the winter. That is honestly top of the draft list. Anybody, we're not bringing in kids from Florida State here.
Yeah.
So love those arms.
All right, we're going to go through the Steelers schedule, but we do have some Browns questions on the phone here, in the comments as well. Of course we can intertwine with them since you're with us, McGannon.
Sure.
Sean Flannery from the Ohio area wants to know if there's a problem that 4 quarterbacks are not enough for this offense and should have 20 where everyone on offense is a potential quarterback, so you always need to be ready for laterals. Fair question?
No. I think, that's a fair question.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I think it probably makes as much sense as what the Browns' actual motivations are for having, I think at this point, a 6-man quarterback race to be the worst quarterback in the NFL.
Sure. They were an absolute debacle last year. They were 3-14 after making the playoffs with Flacco. Then they got rid of Flacco, not to upset Deshaun Watson, because God forbid you upset the man who tanked the entire organization with the worst contract in the history of sports.
That's not all he did.
Yeah, so they brought him back. They brought back
allegedly.
Flack. As Feach Lamani says, Flack around and find out. So I'm excited. We're all excited for Joe Flacco.
All excited for Flacco.
But real quick, let's get into the Steelers schedule. So the Steelers open up with the Jets, Aaron Rodgers versus the Jets. I think they win that game because Aaron Glenn today, if you guys didn't hear, he got upset when they asked if it's a problem that they can't pass the ball, and he says, "Why does everyone think it's a passing league? No, you can run the ball. The Eagles ran the ball, but they were able to throw it. I mean, you guys aren't even able to throw the ball."
Well, I think it's the threat of throwing the ball,
right.
So if Justin Fields, if he's back there in the wing T, Justin Fields can say, "Hey, we might throw it this time," and that's the threat of throwing the ball. And then, of course, he'll just run into the line.
Absolutely. So, all right. So then you go to you play the Seahawks week 2. You come back home to that. That's a win. Steelers at home always win that game. Then to New England, Mike Vrabel. Is it a Mike Vrabel revenge game? I remember Mike Vrabel turned down a shot from me. I offered him a shot of Imperial whiskey with his Iron City beer, and he said no. He was on a date, and we were scumbags at the time. But still, I hold a grudge.
Yeah, Yinzer in name only. If he's not having a little something with his Impin Iron.
An Impin Iron. And now you go to Dublin. Is that right? Is that what happens here?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, the Roonies have ties to Ireland.
Yeah.
They were ambassador there back in the day. So, of course, the NFL's trying to bring concussions overseas. Other countries don't have head injuries. So that's important, make sure everybody can play.
Rooney, the ambassador of Ireland, is absolutely hilarious. There's going to be a lot of Yinzers out there in Dublin getting messed up as they play the Vikings, and then they have a bye. This is a weird schedule where they're in I think the Browns are actually in Europe that week, and then they have no bye, and then they come home to play you guys who are off of bye, and that's never happened in the history of the NFL. That a team comes from overseas with no rest to play a team that is rest. So the Steelers should absolutely murder the Browns that week 6 game. That's what people are saying. It never happened in the history in the league.
And what I would love after that game is, how the players oftentimes after the games, they'll trade jerseys. I would love if Aaron Rodgers would trade jerseys with any one of the Browns quarterbacks. And then actually let's just do that roster transaction. To Rodgers to the Browns, and then whoever, if it's Flacco, if it's Shedeur,
Dylan
the
Gabriel,
Hawaiian fella, I think that would be really fun. Switch the jerseys and let's just push that through waivers.
Yeah, can Kenny Pickett just jump on a team plane? I'm sure he still has his seat
I didn't say that. I didn't say Kenny. If we're literally anybody, we don't have gloves that small in Pittsburgh anymore.
No Pickett to Pittsburgh. Now, again, and Cleveland Brown insider.
Yeah.
What did you think of last week when Dylan Gabriel on the sideline says, "We have to know the difference between entertainers and competitors"? A lot of people thought he was taking a shot at Shedeur. Then they showed the full context, and apparently he was talking about the media and the team. And then people online were like, "You know what? I still don't care, even with evidence. He's still taking a shot at Shedeur."
Shots fired from one spicy hot Hawaiian. No, actually, yeah, apparently he goes back. Historically, he's referred to the media as entertainers, which makes a lot of sense. But no, yeah, it's, again, part of the circus. Should be pretty interesting. Although he did look good. He had 2 turnovers, a pick 6, but
he tossed that out, and he didn't have a bad game,
I don't know. He flicks it out there quick, you know.
Well,
he got good out there.
He's got a good handshake, and he looks you in the eye, and that's why you draft him in the 3rd round. He might not be an NFL quarterback, but he's, you know, you can present him at the preseason meetings with the sponsors, you know, and when corporate comes in, you put Dylan Gabriel in a suit, and they'll be impressed.
Well, I mean, I think people underestimate and underrate the ability of just getting a team in and out of a huddle. You know what I mean? Like, he does that really, really good. He played 4 years, I think maybe even more than that, in college at 4 different colleges. So he is adept at running an offense. That's right up the Browns' alley. That's what they need. They need someone that can get a team in and out of a huddle.
Question from Ronnie Pasco says, is Cleveland going to end up with 6 different quarterbacks in one season and try to break the record of 5? They still have Snoop Huntley on there, right?
They do. Maybe not at one time, but there's no question that at least half of them are going to go on IR. And so they're going to sign at least 3 more. So I don't think they're going to carry like 9. But I don't know, like, who knows how many quarterbacks are actually going to be on the Browns this year? Should be interesting though.
I like how to go from no quarterback. Like, let's just get all the quarterbacks. Let's just get
all the quarterbacks. And they traded into next year's first round. So they're going to have 2 first-round picks, and they're going for a quarterback again. Best believe.
Yeah. Did you like how they passed up on Travis Hunter and just got a normal D tackle there? Who did they get? Mason Graham or whatever?
Mason Graham, yeah. Actually, almost embarrassed to say, I actually think that was a good move. I think Travis Hunter,
too exciting. He's too exciting for Cleveland.
I don't know if he's too exciting for. He seems too light. What does he weigh? 160. There's no way that anyone 160 can be that good in the NFL. I don't think it's possible.
Yeah, but after half a year in Cleveland, he'll be 210, no problem.
That's true. But I think he'll be decent on offense, and I think he'll be decent on defense. I think Mason Graham is a culture changer.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, Mason Graham's a culture changer, isn't he?
What is the culture in Cleveland?
Well, the culture in Cleveland, I'm not sure if you're aware of the Isaiah Bond story. He was one of the hottest wide receivers coming out of last year's draft.
Sure.
Unfortunately, was arrested for sexual assault.
Oh, that's no problem. That's no problem for the Cleveland Brown organization, though.
Yeah, the Browns said, check. Let's get him in town.
See, I'm wondering, if every city has their auto accident or personal injury attorneys. Does Cleveland just have so many law firms specializing in sex crimes?
That's true. Most teams want a player that could take the top off of a defense.
Yeah.
The Browns like a player that could take the top off of a woman without her consent.
No. That's a bomb. That's a bomb for you. The Browns are funny because they get players just commit crimes there too. I think just when they sign with the Browns, almost like it's part of the initiation. Like Quinton Junkins, the running back they drafted out of Ohio State, he was clean record, all around good guy. As soon as he gets to the Browns, okay, have you decided what kind of crime you wanted to do? Have you thought about domestic violence? Just to welcome yourself to the league. That's what we do here at the Browns, and apparently got some domestic violence.
When in Rome.
And nothing is more Rome than when it's burning than Cleveland, Ohio. All right, let's get back to that Steelers record schedule real quick. What do we have our record at here now? We haven't beaten the Jets, beaten Seattle. You haven't beaten Vrabel too, Ken?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, I don't think they got a chance in heck against the Bengals. I can't tell which ones of these are home or away.
The white ones are away. It's a Thursday night game. I think you have a good chance of starting 5-0. To be honest, you might probably lose to Minnesota there. Let's say you're 4-1, then 4-2. Then you have the Packers at home. Now there we go. Packers versus Aaron Rodgers. Will Aaron Rodgers still be alive, standing upright, the quarterback, when Green Bay comes? Now that's definitely a revenge game.
No, he's in Bali by the time week 8 comes around. He is his ankles have snapped and they've already been he's in feet in the sand by Green Bay week.
Yeah, so you might get Will Howard at that point there. Another question from the chat again from Sean Bear Flannery this time, who also runs a great podcast called The Blackout Diaries. See, Generous, make sure you check that out. It's a drinking storytelling show called The Blackout Diaries. Wherever pods are told, I sometimes pop on there as well. He wants to know, what local brands are you hoping Aaron Rodgers becomes a spokesman for in Pittsburgh? That's a great question, Sean.
Ooh, that is a great question. I don't know if we have maybe a hookah bar, if we got hookah in Pittsburgh. I feel like it's going to be an interesting
now, because it's a Pittsburgh
city for him.
Because it's a Pittsburgh hookah, it definitely has fries in it as well, right? You get the pure tube with the oxygen with your fries that come involved.
Yeah, that goes without saying. Fries on everything. I mean, it's weird to think of a quarterback coming from Green Bay, Wisconsin, not being able to fit in Pittsburgh. But, I think that the politics is a match, but culturally, not so much in a Rodgers town. I don't know. Maybe like an e-bike dealership.
E-bike and that.
Yeah.
Ronnie Pasco says maybe a Pittsburgh Ivermectin feed and supply, or Vermectin, that drug, the anti-vax drug. You can get immunized in that.
Yeah, I guess that is a nice thing. It's going to be hard for him to get his weed card, but as far as like livestock medications, he's going to be fine. So.
McGann, since you're here and since we're talking about Rodgers and the unhealthiness, I always love how it's a Pittsburgh salad. They just add fries. Anything that says Pittsburgh, just add fries. Now, you guys are from Pittsburgh and Cleveland. What's the unhealthier city, Pittsburgh or Cleveland, food-wise, you think?
Health or like mental health?
You can throw it all in there. I'm talking about food, unhealth. You have pierogies, of course. You have permanis. Cleveland does their own version of panini, which is kind of a ripoff. But
lots of corned beef joints.
Yeah.
In Cleveland, there's a place called Slyman's, which is kind of well known.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm biased, so of course I'm going to say Cleveland is a much more mentally and physically sick city.
I would agree. Just because there's just some doctors that come in from outside of the country that live in Pittsburgh, so they're kind of skewing. They're the people that are taking the fries off of their salad.
That's good. That's a nice healthy choice there. All right, let's fire through the schedule here real quick. Okay, you're beating Aaron. You're beating the Packers. Of course, you're beating. Rodgers is going to beat the Packers, and then lose to the Colts for some. Then lose to Daniel Jones. That'd be perfect.
Yeah, the wheels are going to really start coming off because that's the people are going to be talking about the Steelers as Super Bowl contenders. They got that nice early bye week, but if you don't think they're going to beat. If you don't think they're going to beat the Bengals, or you think they're going to lose the Bengals week 7, they're going to lose the Bengals week 11, and then it'll get real squirrely. They'll get absolutely trounced by the Bills, and then the wheels will come off. And then, so week 12 and 13 is when you're going to start hearing in the media, Mike Tomlin, hot seat. But then, they'll even it out. They'll go 9-8, and he's got 3 more years on his contract. So we're sticking it out. Graves' disease or not.
Steelers Bears. That's in Chicago. That's something right there. That is some couple fan bases right there. Some Bear Dines, some Star fans, some Car Pires all together. You think about getting out there for that game? Visit old stomping grounds right before Thanksgiving?
The last Steelers game I saw at Soldier Field, it was who was the guy? Knox. Little speedy guy Knox scored a game-winning touchdown, and a Bears fan jumped all over my back and spilled beer all over me. But
Johnny Knox.
Johnny Knox. There you go. I'd love to go back out to Soldier Field. Before they move the Bears out to Peoria or wherever they're going to put that new sports complex. So.
I love when I always threat by taking it to a harness racetrack. All right, so you get slaughtered by the Bills. That's no doubt about her. Then you have how come you haven't played? The NFL did some weird things with the divisions, like late divisional rivals, like back to back. You played the Ravens twice in the last 5 weeks. You played the Ravens at home. You always split with them. That's it. All like two brothers having it out. They love saying that. Just brawling black and blue. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Throw out the records when the Ravens and the Steelers play.
Yeah, I give the Steelers that one just because they have had their number regardless of signal callers back there.
They've had their number. The two most tenured coaches, your Harbaugh, the good Harbaugh, and Tomlin going at it. Both of them 18 years. It's pretty wild. Then the Dolphins. That's a Monday nighter. Why are the Steelers and the Dolphins playing on Monday night? Who asked for that? That is a gross game. But maybe that's Will Howard versus Quinn Ewers at that point. Who knows as we get down towards the end of the season. So that's a dub. You're fishing all right. And then at Detroit, at Cleveland, and then home again, or home versus Baltimore to be determined, or probably at Baltimore. I think you split with the Browns. I think the Browns do get revenge. James Winston got you last year. I mean, who knows? Who knows what's going to matter at that point? But like, I think you got it right. 9 wins, another Tomlin winning season, and good for you. You can't fire him. Another first round playoff exit.
Love it. Thank you, Mike. Keep that cross front and center, and let Jesus take the wheel.
Let Jesus take the wheel, and that is the Pittsburgh Steelers schedule. So you like them to make the playoffs at plus 115 at all?
Yeah, why not? Why not make the playoffs?
I think that's just what they do. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to win 9 games, and then they're going to get trounced again. I don't like them to win the North. I don't like them to win the AFC. I don't like them to go to the Super Bowl. As far as props go, you think DK Metcalf has a big year with Rodgers?
I don't think they have anybody else. Every other receiver on their team is a Smurf. So I think he's going to get hyper targeted.
What is the report between Roman Wilson and Calvin Austin there?
You mean picking between the two of them?
One of them's got to be the number 2, right? So eventually, I think
I think your number 2 is Freiermuth, the tight end, and then maybe
Jonnu Smith.
They do after that.
Yeah, they do double tight a lot. Johnny might have Johnny, I took a stab at maybe to lead a division and touchdowns. He's 30-1. I like Caleb Johnson to lead 30-1 rookie of the year. Why not? He's going to be a powerhouse workback. It's what they do. Aaron Rodgers, I'll give Aaron Rodgers this. The last 10 games of the season last year, he had 18 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. He looked like, oh, that's right, he was an MVP quarterback at one point. He was such a disaster before that. He pretty much had to humble himself because I guess eventually I have to play football. So he can play football still. He just can't move.
Yeah, I think everything's got to go right for the Steelers and for him to be successful. And I don't see. I can't imagine him getting along with Arthur Smith. So I think I don't be curious to see what the offense looks like because Rodgers, I don't think he wants to be under center that much. So we'll see how it goes.
All right, hold on. Brian McGinn, let me take a quick ad read and we'll come back and we'll talk some Cleveland Browns as we have the middle of the road Steelers finishing at 9-8. But first, let me talk to you about my bookie. Of course, my bookie. We're brought to you by Bookie.ag. Wherever I bet, he bets my bookie. My Bookie AG. It's your place to bet on every sport, including MLB, WNBA, golf course, and of course, football futures. Accepts customers from all over the place. Uses crypto, Barnard's favorite form of payment. A bet I like on my bookie, of course, would be. No, the Phillies game already went off. Well, how about those Brewers to finally get a game against those Cubs? Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN, 100% bet back bonus up to $500. Terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. The rhythm's gonna bet you. Rhythm's gonna bet you. Rhythm's gonna bet you with props. That's right. Rhythm is the number 1 AI powered tool for using for pros. They use their model, put your own model in there to get predictions. They crushed it in the NFL last season. They had Josh Allen props, Baker Mayfield props. They hit on all of them. They also do every other sport, WNBA, golf, college football. So go to the site today. Get your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamingpodcast.com/rhythm. And we are back here on the Bottom Line Bombs. I'm your host, CJ Sullivan. I'm going to have Ken Barnard, the Yinzer Ken. How's your dad, by the way, feel about Aaron Rodgers coming into town to Pittsburgh? I feel like the problem with Aaron Rodgers coming to your team is that you have to explain it to your dad what a lot of this ayahuasca stuff is, and you got to say, listen, he's our guy. You're going to hear some terms that might scare you, like darkness retreat.
Yeah. Well, I think half of the people don't like it just because he's so in the media. So, We like our quarterbacks humble, and he's a little bit outspoken regardless of what he's talking about.
Yep.
And, a lot of old Steeler fans still have that animosity from the Super Bowl that Rodgers won. So I think you have a lot of Steelers fans that are not bought in or actually do not like him.
Fair enough. All right, let me switch over to the Browns because our Browns insider Brian McGann, who's been on the phone patiently. McGann, you're with us there?
Yeah, I got a hard out at 3:45.
Yeah, that'd been something. That would have been something you could would have been great if you told me before the show. Then I would have done the Browns first, and then the Steelers second.
Things are in motion.
Yeah, that's super. All right, well, let's get into it then. Let's get into your Browns. Like I said, 3-14 last year, huge disappointment. They're close 5.5 now. They have 19 quarterbacks in the quarterback room. You have Kevin Stefanski, 2-time Coach of the Year. So maybe he could do something with them. But they brought in Flacco. They have Jerry Jeudy and Cedric Tillman. I know you love that tight end, David Njoku. Let's get into it. What do you think about your Browns?
The Browns, they are and have always been, at least for the last 25 years, a very unserious franchise, right?
Yeah.
Especially as it relates to winning and losing games. Just the conversation starts. Their head of football operations, a guy by the name of Paul D. Podesta, this is his very first job in football.
Okay.
He comes from baseball. He worked with Billy Beane in the Moneyball era, and the owner of the Browns saw the movie Moneyball.
Yeah,
saw
good
there
movie.
was some type of a math equation,
right? Great movie
that equaled wins, and
Well, that's fine. Your defense is solid. You have a decent roster. You just have such a debacle at quarterback there. I mean, Myles Garrett, of course, just got clocked doing 100 miles an hour. He had a press conference today. Opening question was, what does it feel like when you're in a car and you see the speedometer going over to 100? And he's like, I'd rather talk about my kids' charity. Okay, great. This is going to be a great camp.
Yeah.
But he's obviously a stud. 14 sacks last year. He's plus 850 to win Defensive Player of the Year. He's a beast. They just re-signed him for some reason instead of trading him for picks to actually rebuild your team. But hey, we'll see what happens, right?
Yeah, we will see what happens.
The secondary, not as good as they used to be. I mean, I like Denzel Ward, obviously, and Martin Emerson Jr. They're not the same players as they used to be, though, it seems like.
Yeah, well, Martin Emerson Jr. is definitely not the player he used to be because he blew his Achilles tendon 2 weeks ago.
No,
and is on IR for the rest of the year.
That's not going to help because they let the most explosive plays into the league last year. But they drafted Mason Graham, like you said, culture changer, 16-1 win Rookie of the Year. Also, what's the other guy? Carson Schlesinger.
Yeah, UCLA stud.
Yeah, a little run stopper, 30-1. They brought in Malik Collins in the free agency. They Isaiah McGuire's a nice little player they got there. So they got talent. They just have Joe Flacco. And I love Joe Flacco. We'll see what happens. The O-line should be okay. Let's get into the schedule here then. Because I don't know. Let's see here. That's the Steelers schedule. Have you looked at it here? The win total is 5.5. They are
Yeah, that sounds about right.
They are 40-1 to win the division, which is a pretty high number. I don't know if you know this, but there are only 4 teams in the division. So for them to be 40-1, that's got to be the highest number by far. I mean, granted, the other 3 teams are very good: Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh. 120-1 to win the AFC, and if you want to put a little pizza money, McGann, in on the Browns to win the Super Bowl, 300-1. Why not? Let's let Daddy Flacco bring it home.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, absolutely. You have 0 primetime games this year, except for the morning game in London, I guess. But yeah, you open up a Battle of Ohio. Oh my God, the Battle of Ohio versus the Bengals to open up the season. Nothing but state troopers in that game over there. What do you think about Joey Burrito and the boys? You think you can get them to open up the season?
Yeah, for some ungodly reason, the Browns have had Joe Burrow's number for the past few years.
They have.
I actually think they come out and they win this game. There will be a parade the following Monday in Cleveland for Joe Flacco. But what happens from there on out will, will not go well. But I actually like them in this first game.
I mean, like the Bengals always start out slow, although they're trying to change that this year with the preseason. But with those games at Cleveland, what happens is Cleveland makes their opponent play like Cleveland. You know, they don't. It's like they bring down their level. They don't rise up to your level, but they'll drag you down to their level, and you're slipping.
I think
and
to be more specific, they make the Bengals play like
100%.
But I remember Bengals did not invest well in their defensive line. Browns have invested well in their defensive line. The Browns defense is actually going to be decent for the first couple games this year until they gas out from having to play 155 plays a game. But for the first couple games of the season, specifically against the Bengals, I definitely like the Browns D.
And then you go right to Baltimore week 2. A little Joe Flacco revenge, though, maybe. And not that he needs revenge since he won a Super Bowl and he was treated very well there. But as he's returning home to Baltimore, Flacco in Baltimore, I can see he's got the accent from Delaware, Blue Hen. I can see that being a weird game. And I mean, they won last year, right, at Baltimore? Was that the one game Watson played well?
That was two years ago. I mean,
yeah.
I think the game will be weird in the sense that the Browns are definitely going to lose.
Okay,
probably be a very, very boring game.
All right. Then you come Green Bay comes to Cleveland. There, interesting game. Like I said, I don't know. I mean, I don't understand what happens in Cleveland. Jordan Love and the elements isn't the best, but in September, I think the Packers handle that.
It'll be balmy.
Yeah, it will be balmy. The Browns, by the way, looking at the schedule here, all 17 games, I'm sorry, they are favored in only one game. You have to go all the way to week 14 versus the Tennessee Titans and Cam Ward before you find a game where the Browns are actually favored. That does not bode well to a 5.5 win total.
It does not. And when you say 5.5, I know most people hear that and think like, they're thinking about it in the gambling sense, like in the Vegas sense. No, this year the Browns are going to find a way to get half of a win. That'll happen.
Nobody does ties better than the Cleveland Browns. I'll give you that. There's a prop bet you could do, Cleveland versus Pittsburgh, and they're like, oh, well, are they going to split? That's plus 130. Are the Steelers going to sweep 2-0? That's plus 125. Are the Browns going to sweep? That's 4-1. And then they're like, will there be a tie 30-1? And I think that's literally the only series where they even offer that because like it's the Browns. Just put it in there. Someone's going to. They love the tie games.
Yeah. I don't know, but at the same time, I think things are so odd and weird this offseason. Like, they could luck out and like make a run for the playoffs. Again, their defense will be strong. But again,
for sure. They should be a top 10 defense, I think.
For at least the first 5 to 6 games.
Yeah, I am kind of interested because I'm a big Flacco fan, but I mean, he might have lost a little bit. He is 40, but anyway. This is a tough stretch right here. You got McGannon at Detroit. That's a loss, of course. Then you go to London to play the Vikings. And now what's rough about this is the Vikings have already been in Europe for a week. They just played the Steelers in Dublin a week before that, and so they've been there for 2 weeks. They got their air freight. They're relaxed. Anytime a team plays back-to-back games in Europe, that second leg they always slaughter the team that's coming over there. So the Browns are going to lose that one, and then they got to fly back and play at Pittsburgh, who's coming off a bye. And I don't know if you were listening before, but that's never happened in the history of the NFL. That's just not doing the Browns any favors, the schedule makers, as they say.
Right. Not that it makes any bit of fucking difference, right?
That's true. I mean, it's going to be a rough go no matter what for these Cleveland Browns. But then you got Miami at home. That's a winnable game. That's absolutely 100% winnable game. Miami looks like a team that's ready to quit even before the Browns fans do.
Yes. Yeah. That could be a potential win.
Yeah, that could be a win. I like that as a win. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys that win there. I'm gonna give you. I got you down for 2 wins so far: Cincinnati and Miami. Now, New England at New England. That's also a winnable game. I'm not too hype on these Patriots like everyone else is with the Drake Mays and I think their O-line is horrible, and I think Myles Garrett and those guys could do something. But also, someone pointed out a Snoop Huntley revenge game. Snoop Huntley has a revenge game for like half the league though, but I do love Snoop Huntley, who keeps getting jobs because he's friends with Lamar.
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely going to be a loss for the Browns. For some reason,
All right.
Kevin Stefanski doesn't do well against Belichick teams that he coached and used to coach. So that definitely doesn't bode well for the Browns. Yeah, they're definitely going to have a hard time. Mike Vrabel, the head coach, spent last year with the Browns, so I think he kind of knows. I think he knows their weaknesses, which are many.
That is a lot,
and we'll exploit them.
Fine, that's definitely a loss there. You got a much needed bye. Then you come out to the Jets. This is a game you can win at the Jets, Week 10. Let's go, another Joe Flacco revenge game if he's upright for this one. He played for those Jets for a couple times, so I like you getting. I don't trust these Jets either. So there's your third win of the season.
Bang it.
And now here's a juicy one for you. Now you are 11-point dogs in the look ahead line, hosting Baltimore. Baltimore is going to be playing their third straight road game, and history shows anytime an NFL team plays they lose that third road game. And this is a game you won last year, right, at home. This is one Winston won against them.
Yeah. This again at the end, at the conclusion of this upcoming year, this will be the game that you'll look back and say, we could have had the first overall pick.
This is when I start ruining the team.
Goddamn game.
I'm giving it to you. That's your fourth win, and then you're at Vegas. How many Cleveland fans are going to Las Vegas for this one?
Oh, all of them. Mm-hmm. All of them.
And they show themselves. You can always very easy to spot out the Cleveland fans in Vegas that week. I'm sure with the coolers in the lobby as they check in. Like you're in Vegas, drinks are free everywhere. I want to make sure I bring my Great Lakes cooler. So that's a potential 3-game winning streak. To be honest with you, Jets, Ravens, Raiders. But you're not going to get that. So I'll give you 2 of those 3. That's 4 wins. Versus the Niners, that's a loss. At Tennessee, and this is the game you're favored in. You have to win this game.
Yeah, we'll win it. Sure, we'll win it.
Why not? And then you have at Chicago. You're going to be going to this game at Chicago. You're going
to definitely going to this game at Chicago, and definitely, maybe just because I've had bad luck at Soldier Field, I've seen nothing but just awful games, just like done before they start. So that's probably what's going to happen in this game. I kind of like what's happening with the Bears. So, yeah.
Last time the Browns went there, was that the Tim Couch Hail Mary game or whatever?
Probably. Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. All right. And then we finish up Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. Loss. So we got you around 5, 6. You're hovering around it. You can get to 6 wins. They actually are kind of an interesting team there with that defense. As far as any props, who do you like? Do you like Cedric Tillman, Jerry Jeudy this year, Njoku? Who do you like?
Who do I like? One name and one name only.
Yeah.
And the story of this season is going to be one Harold Fannin Jr.
The rookie tight end they drafted. He's quite an athlete.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. The days of David Njoku are gone.
Well,
enough.
Flacco does love Njoku, but I think I can see second half of the season when you get your Shador in there, him and Harold Fannin Jr. being a hookup.
Harold Fannin Jr. Write the name down.
I did. I wrote it down before this.
I'm expecting big things.
I wrote it down before the show. Now, how early and how much of a demand do you think the fan base will to get Shador Sanders onto the lineup into the field?
It'll be never ending. I mean, it's already like never ending. No. He'll be in there. Definitely both rookies are going to play this year. That's for sure. Dylan Gabriel's going to get games and Shador's going to get games. And Kenny Pickett's going to get games and Joe Flacco's going to get games. And Snoop Huntley might get some games and Bruce Gradkowski might get some games. We're all going to get some games.
And that's the theme of the Brown season. Get some games in you. Well, Shador gets jewelry. Do you know where he gets his jewelry at in Cleveland? Is there any local dealership around there that he can get a good deal on?
CJ, it's real funny that you bring that up. If you're anything like me, and as everyone in this audience knows, we are smack dab in the middle of engagement season. And if you're anything like me, you don't know the first thing about buying jewelry. Do yourself a favor. Head on down to 8803 Brecksville Road. Bookman & Sons Fine Jewelers, it is a haggle-free zone. It is a no-pressure zone. How many times have you gone into a jewelry store and they want to know your email address? They want to know your Instagram account. They want to, forget about it. This is a no-haggle zone. And the word no is okay with Bookman & Sons. They're not going to stalk you for the next 10 years like the Browns' third-round draft pick in the last five years. So, all right, check them out.
I will. No frills engagement ring. I like that. Well, Ryan McGann, thank you. I passed you. I took you past your heart out. Apologize for that. Although I just found out about it as you went. I don't know how hard it was. Good luck to your Browns this year. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to let you go and do your connection, and you get back in your car and continue your Five Guys review.
Take care.
Yinzer Ken, that was amazing. I mean, who even knows if he did have a heart out? It's just a hilarious thing to say as the show goes on, where we could have done the Browns first. He's the best.
No, that was great. I think he did had some sort of out, because I could kind of feel it in his voice. It was probably, for me, I think it was more nail biting than a lot of the Browns games will be this year. It's like he needs to get that ad read done for Bookman's Jewelers. But yeah. Five Guys, I don't know what their hours are in Cleveland.
Feature Monty says Luis Perez will suit up for the Browns. Luis Perez, if you don't know, Ken, is the king of spring. Oh, we used to have his book back here. UFL legend, Luis Perez. Anyway, since I have you here, Ken Barnard, as the show wrapped up, thank you for joining us here. And by the way, again, for Pittsburgh, the Versus edition. We have our fantasy draft coming up.
That's true. I have an idea. Harold Fannin Jr. might be coming off the board in rounds 4 or 5. Something. Let's have some tingles about that.
Amazing. If you don't know, Brigannon is also in our league, and one of the strategies we have is if you always draft some Cleveland Browns a little ahead of time, because then you can trade them to Brian McGann. He's going to reach for it. So taking that tight end would definitely be worth it. Now, you're known for your theatrical performance for your first round pick. You do costumes. You do a musical sometimes. It's absolutely amazing. Usually you have the number 1 overall pick. This you don't. Do you have anything planned as you come out? It's going to be in Los Angeles. I know you're out east right now, and you're about to fly out here tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah, I've been knocking some stuff around. I don't know if you checked the weather in LA. It's going to be 100 degrees, so that it does have an effect on one's singing voice and vocal cords and that sort of thing. So we might have to pivot. But
yes.
We'll just have to see.
Yeah, ours will be in Santa Clarita, where it is constantly on fire. It's just the way it is. You come home, there's firemen in your yard. That's what happens. It just got hot, by the way. It was a cool summer, but it just got hot out here, and it is hot for sure. What is the key, you would think? Because there's a lot of fantasy players, degenerates out there. To a great performance of announcement, because I believe I'm 100% believer. You should be proud of that first round pick. There should be theatrics. You should get a little handshake with the commissioner or whatever. What is your key to a first round pick? Because you like to do shocking picks too.
In general, you gotta, it's not new information, but you gotta get your guy. You gotta have fun with it.
Gotta have your guy.
That's why I love, get your Harold Fannin Jr.'s in the 4th round. Pick the backup before the starter if you have a good feeling about it, because nobody, picking up a Sterling Shepard in round 12, that's boring. That's not gonna that's not gonna get you where you need to go. I'd say get your guy and have fun with it.
Absolutely, let's have some fun with it. And as I send you off here, Ken Barn, thank you for joining me once again.
Yeah, well, I do have a soft out whenever we're done. So
I want to play a little bit of your Yinzer. Here we go, Steelers. One of the greatest fight songs ever made to send you off.
With Cower Power, we'll get
Cower Power is always great.
This is the year
we'll get one for the thumb. Here we go.
All 3 points off in Johnson's toe.
I think that this one was from the late 90s, because we got that one for the thumb already. But
can you tell the different versions when you hear it?
Almost immediately, yes.
This is the remaster of 2006.
Ready to win.
Roethlisberger.
With Ward, Randall, Allen, Cedric
I
Wilson.
mean, the sad thing is when I people talk about AI is going to destroy this band's career because they just make the same song with new players every year. So,
He really
for that guy.
He really forced the name Cedric Wilson to that verse right there. Hines, Randall Ellen, Cedric Wilson.
Yeah, you got sometimes you just gotta, those syllables are a suggestion more than anything else.
These verses are amazing.
One thing we know for sure. If we don't get
There it is. Best part.
we'll get 3 points off of Jeffrey's toe.
Yeah, Jeffrey's toe. Hilarious. All right, that's enough of that nonsense. Kenny Barnard, thank you. Good luck to your Steelers, and I'll see you Saturday at the draft.
Yeah, here we go.
All right, there you go. Yinzer, Kenny Barnard. There it is. Thank you for joining us. Now you are in the box. I got a couple more minutes. Could talk about many things here. I was going to talk about that. I did talk a little bit about that Anthony Richardson. It's just so funny the way they talk about the way they talk about Daniel Jones is how he is just a nightmare. Like, you just don't care about football if you're playing with it, which I get. But Anthony Richardson was not good. He had a chance to win the job. He did not do it. Like, what else do you want? Just give it to him? Whatever. The other thing I wanted to talk about in the box, which I briefly talked about last episode, was the male cheerleader situation. And it's I didn't even know it was a situation. I guess the Vikings have a male cheerleader, and the right, if you will, on Twitter, they're outraged about it, and it's hilarious to me. Because I think even they know that, okay, now we're just being outraged just to be outraged. Because this isn't anything new. It might be new to the NFL, but male cheerleaders have existed. This is not a new thing. Like I said, George Bush was a male cheerleader. They've supported male cheerleaders before. It's a funny thing. It's weird, but whatever. Male cheerleaders. But like, this is not my NFL. First of all, an NFL cheerleader is one of the worst jobs in the country. These girls get paid like $50 a game. You guys don't even want a gay man to have one of the worst salaries known in society. That's how bad you want to be outraged. I mean, he'll make 30% more because he's a man, so he'll make $65. But the point is, how could this possibly upset you? The NFL cheerleaders do it for the love of the game, honestly. And this guy, he's prancing around. He's having a good time. Let him enjoy himself. Those poor NFL cheerleaders, male and female, they get paid They get paid peanuts. And they get lusted at. It's weird. I don't know. It's just a weird outrage to have. Like, it's not like, okay, I'm not for the gender outrage either, like with the sports, I think that's obviously played up too, but at least I kind of get where they're coming from. This, I mean, what are you talking? Who cares? The guy's doing a spin. You're freezing outside anyway. It's hilarious. Ronnie Pasco says he worked his balls off for that cheerleading spot. He did. I mean, he is out there, whatever. Like I said, he's not taking a job away from anyone. He's certainly not taking a job that anyone wants. There is no upside to being an NFL cheerleader. It's hard, too. It's hard work. They're like a dance team, Anyway. But I think even they know, like, okay, now we're just yelling just to yell. No one notices the cheerleaders during a football game. And if they do, now they are going to notice, hey, is that a guy out there? It sure is. Look at him. Look at him go. He's spinning around just like the ladies. Look at him. That's pretty funny.
Dancing for ladies.
But these guys want to get fired up. Anyway. All right. I'm not going to get too upset. I'm not going to get upset because we had a great show today. Thank you for everyone who jumped in the chat. Ronnie Pasco, John Feach, Channing. We had Sean Flannery in the chat room. How about that? He's a Cleveland guy. He wanted to tune in. Like I said, me and him host a show called The Blackout Diaries. Make sure you subscribe to that as well. Wherever pods are told, the Drinking Storytelling Show. Great show. Also, make sure you hit the thumbs up button on the YouTube that you're watching right now. Make sure you get those likes up there. Tell your phone that you like my phone. You subscribe to me on all the socials. You understand how this stuff works. Today, tonight in a couple hours, I'll be making my season debut on the College Football Experience Show with Colby Dant and Moneyline Mac. We are doing picks for week 0 coming up, including the Irish Farmageddon, Kansas State versus Iowa State in Dublin. But I'm going to be on their show all year round, during a pick show, giving out picks for every single game, including FCS apparently, because Colby is a maniac. That will be tonight. So for everyone else, thank you very much. That was my rant about Mayor Cheerleaders.
And I'll leave it at that.
And so will I.
Make sure to go to Spotify and give me a 5-star review. I guess that's our new move, is we're trying to take over Spotify and dominate with that. Bombs Down Under is correct. Feach. This is the soundbite I'm going to drop for Bombs Down Under when picks Dundee and the Man in the Box.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. I enjoyed that.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Obama, Mr. President Obama, if you will. Thank you, John. This is a great show. Well, thank you, everybody. That is the show. Get in your cars and go home. Lou Holtz, take us away.
I'm Lou Holtz, and you're listening to the Man and the Buck and the Bottom Line Bombast. Good luck to you.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. I enjoyed that.
And once again, we apologize for CJ's language.